There is Dayjur. And we haven't seen him since he was really impressive at Royal Ascot. He won the King's Stand Stakes on soft ground there. And for any of you who are a little bit worried that maybe won't like this better ground, then I know there was a doubt before he ran at Ascot that he was going to be withdrawn because Mr. Hearn didn't think that he would like the softer ground. Well, he certainly coped with it all right, and he really has, to me, stamped himself as, I think, the best sprinter in Europe so far. Well, before he won at Ascot, he looked equally impressive winning at Sandown in the Temple Stakes. We can take a look at that right now.
They're past halfway, and it's Dayjur all the way. He has the lead by a length. Blighton Lad in the red and white on the wide outside, putting a big finish. Stato Blessed comes with a run. Tigani next to the rails. Dayjur is starting to tar as they race up towards the line. Blighton Lad on the wide outside. Tigani and Stato Blessed. But Dayjur, bullet to post, is going to win it. And at the line, Dayjur has it. And it's Dayjur that win it.
Well, when when Argentum won at Goodwood, Jack Holt, his trainer, and Argentum had been gambled on that day, Jack Holt said that Dayjur will just make him a nice pacemaker up at York. It was a pretty brave thing to say, but Jack has tremendous faith in this brilliantly fast horse. Argentum hates it soft. He simply cannot go on if there's any give in the ground. But this fast ground today will suit him admirably. Derek Thompson talked to his rider, John Reed.
Well, it should suit him very well. I mean, at Goodwood, they went very fast there. And I got a little bit out of my ground there, but I sort of let them go because they were going too fast. And he picked them up very smartly, so I shouldn't think the pace would bother me too much. I think the American horse will jump well. They mostly do out of the stall, so I think he'll be up there. Obviously Dayjur, and I'll be tracking them and hoping to pick up.
And that's Blighton Lad, the hope of the North, John Balding's flyer. He was behind Argentum at Goodwood, but he made the running that day. He ran a tremendous race on the sharp 5 furlongs at Goodwood. He's not always very well behaved at the start, but when he comes out, he's got real speed. Nevertheless, Argentum did pick him up pretty easily at Goodwood. Derek Thompson asked his trainer, John Balding, what chance he thought he had of taking revenge, reversing those places.
Well, I think he's got every chance. You know what I mean? My opinion of the horse, he's a good horse. He's run with the best, and I think he's every right to be here today. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, he'll make him go.
But with the greatest respect in the world, you've only got 12 horses in your stable at Doncaster. You're taking on the best in Britain and America.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got to take them on. It doesn't matter where you go today, does it? You're going to meet them wherever you go.
You fancy your chances?
I do, yes. I mean, I did at Goodwood, and he ran a hell of a race there. So, I mean, it's like I say, he's every right to be in amongst them, in my opinion.
And what about this?
I think that John will be down there to lead Blighton Lad into the stalls himself. And this start is going to be a very tense one indeed, because Carroll's Treasure flaps in the stalls and has to go in last. So does Mr. Nickerson. So those two are going in together last. But number 1, Blighton Lad, is also difficult. So he will be led in as near last as possible by his trainer, John Balding. And then Pharaoh's Delight has also shown problems at the stalls. So Pharaoh's Delight will go in 2 but last, or last but 1. As you can see, it's going to be a tricky moment for the stalls handlers. There's an interested stalls handler, and she'll get some real excitement. There's Argentum, there's Stato Blessed, who looked like a candidate for a champion sprinter at the start of this season, and on his form last season, but he was a longish way behind Argentum in the King George at Goodwood, only 6th in that race. Quite a bit to make up on Argentum today. The mount of Frankie Dettori.
And he's also got a fair bit to find on Dayjur on his 2 runs behind him so far this year. John, I don't know what you feel, but this American horse running's added an awful lot of interest to me to this race. I mean, it's a good race anyway, but it's
absolutely. I'm absolutely keeping my fingers tightly crossed that he'll run a great race, aren't you?
Well, I certainly hope he runs well, so that maybe it'll encourage a few more American trainers to send horses over here for our better races.
And that's Blyton Lad, Stato Best in the background. That's Poyle George, and there's the American going down.
He's only just started to take a hold. When Cash Asmussen went out onto the race course from the paddock, he just sat on him really quietly with a long rein, and the horse walked away, and then he started trotting, went off really quietly, just let him get warmed up in his own time.
I suppose he might very normally be led down by a pony, but he's gone down on his own today and got there. But Derek Thompson is talking to his trainer, Mark Reed.
Mark, we were just saying, he's one of the biggest sprinters we've seen over in Britain for a long time.
Yes, he's the classic American sprinter prototype. He's a large quarter horse looking horse. He's massive through the shoulders and short backed and a very large rump. He's the classic sprinter.
Now, look, he's been doing all his racing on dirt, so how is he going to get on the grass today?
Well, we've been training him exclusively for the last month or so on turf, and he seems to be handling it. He comes from a grass family, so we're very hopeful. But, of course, that's the big question here today. I think if he handles grass, he's going to be a tough horse to beat.
What about the start? How fast will he break?
He normally breaks very fast. You know, you'll know probably 3 or 4 jumps out of the gate whether he's going to run his race, because when he runs these good races, he breaks right on top, and it takes a pretty fast horse to stay with him.
Difficult to evaluate the form, but how do you see his chance?
If he handles grass, I like his chances very much. He's a very fast horse.
We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
And Mr. Nicholson is now out to 20-1 here on the track, and when last did Pat Eddery ride a 50-1 chance. That's the price they're offering against Poyle George. It's 6-4 on against Dayjur. 1 or 2 bookmakers just went carpet 3-1 Argentum. That was taken 11-4, and it's 16-1 bar. That's Stato Blessed, who has touched 20-1. But as I said, 14 odds on winners of the Nunthorpe, 10 odds on losers. Not a great percentage there for those who are betting the odds on Dayjur, and they'll remember the odds on failures like Marwell in 81, God's Walk in 77, and Song and Secret Step in the 60s, who were odds on for the Nunthorpe and were beaten. But the big punters are going in for Dayjur. That 6-4 on has touched 11-8 on, but very good support against it for Argentum, who will be challenging late, put in 11-4. Any bookmaker who has carpet 3-1 Argentum, that's taken.
It's almost an insult that they should be going 20-1 against the American. I must say, if I was down there, I'd have a little bit of that. But here is Lugana Beach. Yes, I was just reminded of a foreign challenger who was given no chance, the French horse Napsala in the King George VI chase. Everybody said he had absolutely no chance, and remember what he did to Desert Orchid. Well, here's Lugana Beach, very, very fast indeed, but well beaten third in the end, behind Dayjur and Ron's victory in the King's Standard Royal Ascot. No obvious reason why Lugana Beach is going to pick that up, even in the great form David Ellsworth's been showing. Quick look at the betting.
Lugana Beach in the market at 20-1. Dayjur the 6-4 on favourite. Argentum 11-4. Stato Bless 16-1. Mr. Nicholson on 20s. Pharaoh's Delight 25s. Carol's Treasure 33-1. Poyle George at 50s together with Blyton Lad, and they all show.
Now, as I've told you, Mr. Nicholson and Carol's Treasure are supposed to be going in last together. There is Carol's Treasure in the extreme background. So Blyton Lad still to be led in by his trainer, and Dayjur is at the back there as well. There is Carol's Treasure, who's shown some real good form in various sprint distances. Back in April, he won the Field Marshal up at Haydock and didn't run badly at Sandown later in the season. But today, well, he's going to have to rise well above anything he's shown for a long time now. 7 races out of 38 is his record, all told.
And double carpet 33 to 1 Carol's Treasure. Some of the rags are being backed. Like Lads into double carpet 33 to 1 from 50. And it's 16 Lugana Beach and Mr. Nickerson are into 16 from 20 to 1. But it's still 6 to 4 on Dayjur, 11 to 4 Argentum, 16 to 1 bar the two. Any result outside the front two. Tremendous for these bookie chappies.
When we've been describing Mr. Nickerson as looking like a quarter horse, they're horses of tremendous power which literally run over 2 furlongs in America. He, of course, has won many races, 10 races in fact, mostly over 6 furlongs, but they've all been round a bend. That's the difficulty he faces today. This is the first time he's ever run up a straight course. Now, there they go, Carol's Treasure and Mr. Nickerson.
That's it, Dayjur 6 to 4 on Argentum, 11 to 4, Stadtoplex 16 to 1, Mr. Nickerson. The start is vital and they break away, and the Nickerson horse, the American horse, has missed it. Dayjur gets there early. Lugana Beach is on the right with Stadtoplex, and Willie Carson is taking no prisoners. He's clear by 2 as they race for the first furlong. It's Dayjur in the lead. The American horse, Mr. Nickerson, with the white bridle. On the left is Pharaoh's Delight, tracked by Carol's Treasure and then Blighton Lad. Lugana Beach and Stadtoplex is on the left, and they come to the halfway stage in this Keeneland Nunthorpe Stakes, and it's Dayjur, the English sprinter, in the lead, showing the best of his way home. Is clear by 3. Stadtoplex and Mr. Nickerson in second, then Pharaoh's Delight with Lugana Beach. The rest could be ruled out. They've only got a furlong and a half to go, and Willie Carson isn't hanging about. He's still in the lead on Dayjur, clear by 2. Stadtoplex on the right puts in a big finish. Pharaoh's Delight is third, Mr. Nickerson fourth at best. Carol's Treasure picks up, but it's Dayjur from Trumps the line, and Dayjur is clear by 3 to 4 from Stadtoplex. And as they race up towards the line, Dayjur has it. Dayjur the winner, Stadtoplex second, Pharaoh's Delight third, 4 was Argentum, 5 Carol's Treasure, 6 Lugana Beach. Nickerson beat 2 Blighton Lad, and Poyle George with those. Boy oh boy, Hamdan Al Maktoum is going to have some sort of cavalry. First is number 8 Dayjur in his colours, trained at West Ilsley by Major Dick Hearn and ridden by Willie Carson, his 141st winner of the season. Dayjur, the 11 to 8 on favourite. Second is number 6 Stadtoplex, ridden by Frank Editori. Third horse home is number 9 Pharaoh's Delight, the mount of Ray Cochrane. Sadly, Mr. Nickerson never really got into the race. He may just have been a bit cramped at the start, but he didn't really hit those gates, and he never really asserted. I must say, going down to the start, he looked a very powerful beast indeed, as we've all mentioned. But all credit to Dayjur, the son of Danzig, bred by Georgina E. Hoffman, out of the mare Gold Beauty. Willie Carson really hot at the moment. Mark you, everybody else at York is too. But Willie Carson riding like a man possessed, and from the stalls he was going to dominate. He knew he had the class. He had the class horse, a son of Danzig, Dayjur.
I don't believe that Willie Carson is going to let the Argentum camp forget that they said Dayjur would make just a nice lead horse for Argentum, because as the gates open, Mr. Nickerson misses the break. He was expected to break in front. Dayjur broke in front, in fact, and stayed there throughout. Willie, my golly, he really means business. And in the form he's in, and the position he's taken, well, they had something to catch.
Yes, after they'd only gone 2 furlongs, there was only one horse, and that was the eventual second, Stadtoplex, who was remotely on the bridle, and he's already under pressure under Frankie Dettor. Just look at this horse. He's 3 lengths clear. These are the top sprinters in the country, and he really has to win a sprint of this calibre by 3 lengths. I think he's probably one of the best sprinters I've ever seen, John. He's won over 6, but he's a very, very fast horse indeed. He's won 2 or 3 lengths, and full credit to Stadtoplex for keeping on as well as he did. But there you see, he's put an awful lot of daylight between himself and the other runners. Very, very impressive.
And that Dayjur is returned 11 to 8 on. Very popular, of course, Willie Carson coming back. 10 to 11 it was in the offices this morning, but it never beat 11 to 8 on here on the track. The second, Stadtoplex, was a 14 to 1 chance, and of course was third last year, Stadtoplex, at 9 to 1 behind Cadeau Genera, and the third, Pharaoh's Delight, was a 25 to 1 chance. And that Dayjur, the 28th favourite in 64 runnings of the Nunthorpe to win. the third in succession after Cadeau Genera and Handsome Sailor, the 15th odds-on winner of the Nunthorpe, and the 13th horse to complete Royal Ascot's Kingstown Stakes and Nunthorpe double. Have there ever been better than that Dayjur? Many will believe or will argue that there have been few better sprinters than that.
It certainly seems that this is the fastest horse in the world. He's by Danzig, and his dam was a champion sprinter in America, Gold Beauty. She was by the great Mr. Prospector, as good a stallion as Danzig himself, and Gold Beauty, as I say, was a champion herself, and this is her second foal. He cost $1,650,000 and is worth, at this moment, on the hoof, between 10 and 20 million pounds.
Yeah, it really is a lovely horse, this. And he started off the season by running behind Anshan in the free handicap. There's Angus Gold, Dan's racing manager. And there's a remarkable rate of success. Nashwan carrying the flag last year. This horse has certainly been doing the same this year. And as I was saying, he started off running over 7 in the free handicap, went back to 6. He actually got beaten once, if you can believe that, by Todd. That was at Newbury. And he's won over 6, he's won over 5. They're very fast horse. He's also very versatile. And he's, as John said, he's also worth an awful lot of money.
Sheikh Hamdan really carrying all before him. Don't forget, he owns the great Salsabil as well, so he owns what most people would regard as the best horse in Europe, and he certainly owns the fastest horse in Europe, if not, as I've said, the fastest horse anywhere, because in those 3 furlongs I really defy anything in the world to get in front of Dayjur.
Dance, the 9-4 favourite, LBO 11-4. Sheikh Albadou steady on 6-1, and Paris House now into 13-2, opened over 8s. Classy Briefcase 9-1 from 8-1. Title Row steady on 9s. Blighton Lad at 50s, along with Poyle George, and Duplicity Friendless in the market 100-1.
Well, a cracking betting heat. I honestly don't know which I'd pick if you gave me a tenner, which I'm sure you're not going to do.
I'm certainly not going to give you a tenner. Ideally, I'd like to see the American filly win, because it might encourage a few more American horses to come over, and there's no doubt that it adds another element to our racing when you've got a few international runners. Having said that, the French filly, Divine Dance, looked particularly well. There's any number of these I could be really pleased to see win. This horse in the foreground now, Paris House, be wonderful, or another wonderful achievement for Jack Berry if this 2-year-old could win.
1 to go, jockeys. 2-1 Divine Dance as the last one, Classy Briefcase, enters the stalls. 5 furlongs a trip, don't blink, you'll miss it, it's only a minute. And it's all about start, and let's get away, and a pretty good break by all other men. Classy Briefcase was so fast out of the stalls. Look at that, leading at Class Field by about a length. But Sheikh Albadou's Pat Edery are wise to it. Lester Pickett and Poyle George are going there too, and so too Blighton Lad. Divine Dance completely taken off her feet. Paris House, the 2-year-old, is matching strides now. This must be a thrill for Jack Berry as they come past the 3. As a 2-year-old Paris House devours Classy Briefcase with Sheikh Albadou back into Blighton Lad shaken up. Poyle George is out of it. LBO off the pace. Divine Dance completely outpaced. They come past the 2, and Classy Briefcase is not good enough. And it's Paris House and Sheikh Albadou from Blighton Lad running a big race. Divine Dance and LBO outpaced. They're inside the final furlong, and it's Paris House who has it. Here comes Sheikh Albadou with a determined drive down the centre of the track. The 2-year-old Paris House pressed hard by Sheikh Albadou, and the Albadou gets there. Sheikh Albadou's going to win it. Sheikh Albadou wins. It's going to be close to second, Paris House and Blighton Lad, and then behind these came LBO and Divine Dance, followed by Duplicity, who was simply outpaced. So too Title Roll and Poyle George, and sadly Classy Briefcase just couldn't last. She finished last in fact, but the result then of this Keeneland Nunthorpe Stakes, it's gone to horse number 6, Sheikh Albadou, in the colours of Hilal Salem, trained at Newmarket by Alex Scott, and this horse blisteringly fast, ridden by Pat Edery, giving him his 114th winner of the season, returned at 6-1 and bred by the Highclere Stud Limited. So well done to all them. But what a cracking race by the second horse home, number 9 Paris House, bought up at the sales for only 5,000 guineas under Darrell Holland. Actually led the field for such a long way, and an equally bold performance by number 1 Blighton Lad, trained at Hambledon by Bill Pearce and ridden by Stuart Webster. So,
well, we know Paris House is a fast starter, but nothing got away so quickly as Classy Briefcase. Tremendous speed. And John Frankham said to me after a furlong or so, look at the horses out the back. Classy animals like Divine Dance and LBO were simply run off their feet.
I don't know what you're seeing from this angle. It's not quite the same as the original angle, but to me, I think this is the best horse race I've ever seen. It was just like watching a 100-metre sprint at the Olympic Games. They came out so fast. Very often you get one horse go off and make the run-in, but these three, the American Challenger, Classy Briefcase, Paris House, Sheikh Albadou and Blighton Lad, they were really burning it just coming up this straight. And at this stage, the £18 that Paris House is getting from Sheikh Albadou was just about allowing him to stay in front, but Pat Edry was really hard at work, and in the end is an older horse, just managed to give the extra weight away. But this really was a great race, a really incredible feeling of speed as they raced over those first 3 furlongs. And just as we reached the line, Pat Edry and Sheikh Albadou, well, the further he went, the better he seemed to be going, giving him a couple of cracks just to make sure that he didn't hang around. I don't suppose he could have gone much faster.
Well, what a fantastic race Paris House ran, and indeed Blighton Lad. Darrell Holland gave Paris House a wonderful ride, held him together, didn't panic early on when he was taken off his feet in the first furlong. And there's our winner. And what a great moment for Alex Scott too, because he's had a rotten time since Possessive Dancer won the Oaks until this afternoon. His horses haven't been right, and 1 or 2 have run disappointingly. 1 got left in the stalls the other day, but that's all gone now. And the owners of this horse, the second, will be delighted. They said anything better than 4th was a bonus. They've had wonderful fun. But this is a fine stamp of horse, isn't it?
Oh, he's a lovely looking horse to look at. And I must admit that coming back to 5 furlongs today, I thought that maybe just might be taken off his feet slightly, having raced over 7 furlongs a couple of times and proving that he was particularly effective over 6, but that wasn't the case. He's himself, like the lad, Classy Briefcase, only 3 that could really go the pace early on.
Number 6, 1 pound 70, number 9, 1 pound 40, number 1, 6 pounds 70.
Sheikh Albadou back down at 7-1 in the offices this morning, 13-2 here on the course. Returned the tight 6-1 third favourite Sheikh Albadou, and the second, that marvellous run by Paris House, is sent off the 7-1 fourth favourite, and he's the 6th 2-year-old to be runner-up in the Nunthorpe. In the 6th is Decoy Boy, Katerina and Kerriby, the Irish filly Abadessa in 1958, and Obliterate way back in 1923, with the other 2-year-olds to be runners-up in the Nunthorpe. And the third, Blighton Lad, that old boy, what a great race he ran, returned 40-1 against Blighton Lad. And the 4th, Divine Dance, was sent off the 2-1 favourite, which means that only 1 favourite has won in 17 races at the meeting. The honours go to Sheikh Albadou, but the glory goes to Paris House.
Well, Sheikh Albadou is from the first crop of Green Desert, who had a brilliant season. He was leading 2-year-old sire, but it didn't in fact sire a group race winner last year, despite the fact that he got numerous winners. Sheikh Albadou and others have begun to put that right in no uncertain manner, and this horse has now added a valuable Group 1 success to that impressive first crop. Lord Porteous, Lord Carnarvon will be pleased about that, because he bred this horse. His animals are having a fantastic season, one's from his original stud. Another important winner for the Highclere establishment.
Well, we've already mentioned what a good race Paris House ran. I think we ought to mention Blighton Lad, the 3rd horse home. He was one of the other ones able to go the pace early on. And good effort there from Will Pearce, who trains this enormous son of Skyliner. Good effort from the first 3 home, but this exciting horse to go on with now. Presumably we'll be seeing him at Arc weekend in the major sprint there. Good advertisement for Keeneland. Let's have a look at his starting price.
First, number 6, Sheikh Albadou at 6 to 1. Second, number 9, Paris House, 7 to 1. And third, number 1, Blighton Lad at 40 to 1. Number 7, Divine Danse, was the 2 to 1 favourite. The take returns win at 6.20. The places 170, 140 and £6.70. The draw forecast came to £14.90 and 9
Let's have a
rounds.
look at the record of fillies. Now, 2-year-olds, 31 2-year-olds have run in the Nunthorpe, which first became a non-seller in 1922. 4 before the war, the best of them was Obliterate, beaten a short-headed none in 23. And since the war, 3 2-year-olds have won it, all the first ones to run. High Treason, My Barbo and Ennis. But since then, the 2-year-olds have all gone under. And look at the record of them recently. Paris House last year, and a tremendous race, of course, against Sheikh Albadou, beaten a length and a half. There, Petalenti in 89. All 8 2-year-old fillies to run in the Nunthorpe have all been beaten. The last of them was Petalenti. The best there, if you look at those horses, with many of them long prices, was Daring Boy in 73, who was unbeaten in his 4 previous starts. The National Stakes at Sandown, the Windsor Castle at Royal Ascot, only 7th to Sanford Lad. Portobello was favourite, and Ireland's Fatima's Gift was second best in 67, and they were caught close home in the race won by Forlorn River. And other 2-year-old fillies to run well, like Alamo City, that was 3rd. Alamo City Katerina, beaten half a length in 65 by Polyphoto. Kerry B in 1960 was beaten by Bleep Bleep, and Abadessa in 58, beaten half a length by the 100 to 8 on chance, Right Boy, ridden by Lester Piggott. And the weights in those days, when the Ennises and the High Treasons and My Barbo were winning, more favour the 2-year-olds than they do now. So there's 4 or 5 pounds difference, and harder still for Lyric Fantasy, but she's been backed 11 to 8 on they've taken. She's 6 to 4 on Lyric Fantasy, 4 to 1 against Mr. Brooks, 8 to 1 Freddie Lloyd, and 10 to 1 against Elbeo. This flying filly, is she another Mumtaz Mahal, the legendary filly who ran in 1923? That's what the hacks say. We'll find out now, but they're betting 6 to 4 on her being as good as Mumtaz Mahal. Mr. Piggott on Mr. Brooks. 6 times he's won the Nunthorpe. Can he pull it off for the 7th time? The punters going uneasy on him now. They're betting the odds on Lyric to beat Leicester.
Well, 10 years ago, you wouldn't have seen Lester Piggott in that sort of form. He was so serious about everything, took it, well, so dedicated that he didn't find any side of it really amusing, except on rare occasions. But he's a different man now. And so much, John, of racing is about expectation and anticipation. Let's hope on this occasion that the realisation isn't a disappointment and that Lyric Fantasy gives us a real run for our money.
Yes, I'm sure we're going to run for our money. I'd just love to see her win. Always nice to see the 2-year-olds upset the form, which she would be doing. They've struggled to win this race for a long, long time, and particularly as she is so small.
Well, one midget about to go into the stalls, calling them home. Our own GG.
I was expecting something else, and if you were. That's it, they're lined up for this Keeneland Nunthorpe Stakes. Breakaway start so important. Lyric Fantasy out of the stalls like the pocket rocket. But Mr. Brooks is going with her, and Freddie Lloyd, who went down to the post well in the dark blue colours, diamonds galore. They're heading to the centre of the track, and Lyric Fantasy has been taken on by Freddie Lloyd. Freddie Lloyd by a half to diamonds galore. Paris House the right, on the left Lyric Fantasy. Length and a half back to Medaille d'Or, then Harvest Gold and Farfalou, and Mr. Brooks and Al Yassaf and Blighton Lad and LBO the back marker. Boy, this is fast. They come down 2.5 to go. It's diamonds galore, and on the left it's Lyric Fantasy, the red between the pair in blue. That's Freddie Lloyd. Paris House is there with a chance. LBO starts to pick up. 1.5 furlongs to go, and it's only now that this little filly starts to go on by a half. Freddie Lloyd. Mr. Brooks is in pursuit. Paris House finishing fast on the far side, but inside the final furlong. And it's Lyric Fantasy who's going to take it, but the challenge comes from Mr. Brooks. Lyric Fantasy by a length and a half, and it's going to be Lyric Fantasy. It has pricked at the line. Oh, so cheeky. Mr. Brooks is second, then Diamonds Galore. A big run from that LBO4. Freddie Lloyd and Paris House and Farfalou and Harvest Girl and Medaille d'Or and Al Yassaf and Blighton Lad just outpaced. Well, they always say a good big one beats a good little one. On this occasion, it was a brilliant little one beating a good big one. The result then of this Keeneland Nunthorpe Stakes, it's a win for the diminutive number 11 Lyric Fantasy, a daughter of Take Gallery in the colours of Lord Carnarvon, and a treble for Richard Hannon. here on Keeneland Nunthorpe Day. This one ridden by Michael Roberts at £1 overweight. Didn't make any difference to the result. His 154th winner of the season. Second horse home is Mr. Brooks. Lester Piggott at 1-2 then for Richard Hannon in this Group 1 sprint. Third horse home is Diamonds Galore, ridden by Aaron Grider, and that fast horse ran very well indeed. And the fourth horse home was number 3, LBO, who picked up from the back and finished well. Well, I think they've gone very fast indeed. Normally Lyric Fantasy, who cost just 3-3 as a foal and 12-5 as a yearling. You can pick up these bargains if you can look. Well, she was being taken off her legs by the pacers early on, but it was her determination that saw her through in the end.
Yeah, tremendous scenes we'll see, I'm sure, after this, because early on it was Freddie Lloyd, Pat Edery, blue colours, royal blue colours, the darker blue of the American Challenger, and Aaron Grider, Diamonds Galore this side, Paris House the Grey struggling. But it's just now, John, and prior to that I was a little bit worried, Lyric Fantasy takes over.
She's run a smashing race, this filly. Normally she bursts off in front, makes all of the running. Michael Roberts didn't hurry her when he found that there were one or two just taking her along early on, gave her time to find her legs. And the further she's gone, she's really got into gear. And although Mr. Brooks, remember, he's already a Group 1 winner, has chased her, he was never ever going to get past her. And a week or so of going without his food has proved well worthwhile for Michael Roberts. Well, we think that she's clocked a time under 58 seconds, and it was certainly a really good race, and great to see her keeping her unbeaten record against these older horses.
And Lyric Fantasy has returned up the arm on, 11-8 on favourite, back down from 5-4 on. The second, Mr. Brooks, went off on the shoulders, 9-2. And the third, bit of money each way for this, Diamonds Galore. The trip wasn't wasted. Double carpet, 33-1 Diamonds Galore. But Lyric Fantasy, the 29th favourite in 67 runnings to win the Nunthorpe. The 16th odds-on chance to win it. Most recently, Dayjur 2 years ago, and Never So Bold in 85. And she's the fourth 2-year-old of 32 to run in the Nunthorpe to win. A smashing filly. Applaud her home.
Well, a delighted Wendy England returns with her charge. Lyric Fantasy and Michael Roberts. Oh. Wendy, quite rightly delighted.
And despite what John McCrick says, size proved not to be everything. And 57.39 seconds is the official time. We showed you a list earlier of the horses that have actually managed to clock under 58 seconds. Her name is now added to that list, and he's had an amazing year, Lord Carnarvon. Niche and Lyric Fantasy both winning here this afternoon. They both won at Royal Ascot.
Yeah, a second.
Don't forget to weigh in.
Your jockey's going to break the rules if he doesn't get in to weigh in.
I know, he must go in. Go and weigh in, Michael. Michael, you'll lose the race. Isn't he terrific? Go on, weigh in.
Look, could you just have a word with our cameras over here? Many congratulations. What a dream
very
for you.
Exciting. Well, it's a terrific thrill, because I've always wanted to win this race with a 2-year-old, and that's why when I was on the patent committee, we kept 2-year-olds in this race, and I was so pleased that Jean Romanet kept a 2-year-old in the Abbey. And, you know, Peter won with Be Friendly, the Vernons. And I'm only hoping Lord Manton will stick to his guns. He says he will. Find out.
Whoops. We very nearly...
You nearly lost your life then. But she's a real thrill. It's right. She's hating that round her hocks, look.
She's got this just caught her there, hasn't it? So I'll go and click that.
Yeah, do something about that.
Oh, we go backward. Whoops-a-daisy. No.
No, that's not very clever. Anyway, I don't want her to kick over the top of that thing. Let's take it off.
Wendy, can we just... John, why don't we go and take it off? You've been elected to go and take that string off, fillet string off. Well, I'll do it then. Come on, lady. Shall I do it then? Go on, girl. Yeah, come on.
Well done, Brad.
I haven't got it out yet. We are.
The end of a great career.
Anyway. Poor little lady. Sorry, Wendy.
Anyway, it's a great thrill. Simply wonderful for... I hope it's wonderful for York, because at Newbury we were 20% up on the day she ran, and she was 5-2 on, so it wasn't going to help people to win money, but they came to see an exciting animal.
And star quality. But when you bought her, when did you think there was star quality?
Well, the star quality was the pedigree, which you only got to read. If you're trying to win the super sprint, you've got to have that sort of a pedigree to succeed. I mean, that's what I bought her for, and hoping that she was going to be good enough to go to the stud as well.
And you've, I may say so, you've been around quite a long time. You've seen lots of brilliant...
I know, very long in the tooth.
But you've seen some blazingly fast sprinters,
yes.
blazingly fast 2-year-olds.
Well, Vil Morin was the fastest, I think, I've seen, the non-classic horses. He was a fantastic
And that's 2-year-old
fast
fillies.
Horse.
You know, you remember you saying a little bit Mumtaz Mahal, got the sort of world we talked about.
Richard Bearline was talking to me today, and he said he's absolutely convinced that she is modern Mumtaz Mahal. I mean, she's got to prove Mumtaz Mahal's ability to breed winners, but on a racecourse, Roberts just said, I mean, she could have done 56 seconds.
She's done 57 there.
He did 57. He could have done 56.
In fact, you know, she hasn't ducked anything. Where does she go on to the Abbey and things? Where would you go with that?
He says she'll stay 6 furlongs, and I know Clive Britton's anxious to have a match with his filly, but I expect she's going to go to the Abbey, don't you?
I think
depends on the ground. But I hope the French, we take her over there to beat the French.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
First, number 11, Lyric Fantasy, the 11-8 on favourite. Second, number 7, Mr. Brooks at 9-2. And third, number 2, Diamonds Galore, returned at 33-1. The tote paid £1.80 to the win. The place is £1.20, £1.80 and £3.90. The dual forecast came to £3.40 and 11 rounds.
Is Blighton Lad. That's ridden by Stuart Webster, and they're 33-1. They're drawn 2. That'll be on the right. Number 2 is drawn 9, Bold and Flashy at 50-1, Alan Munro. Number 3 at 3, LBO 6-1, Walter Swinburne. Number 4 at 8, Freddie Lloyd, 100-1 for John Reed. And number 5 is Keen Hunter. That one's ridden by Michael Roberts. They're drawn 4, odds of reward of 7-2. Number 6 drawn 1, Paris House at 92 shot for John Carroll. Number 7 at 10, College Chapel, 9-4 favourite, Lester Piggott's mount. Number 8 drawn 5, Lochsong, 9-1, Frankie Dettori. Number 9 is Sea Gazer. They're drawn 6, Kevin Darley on this 50-1 shot. Number 10 is drawn 11, that's Lyric Fantasy, Pat Edery, 7-1. And number 11, drawn 7 million, 100-1 for Willie Carson. That's the lineup then for this Keeneland Nunthorpe Stakes, and they've won over £1.5 million in win and place prize money between them. The trip, 5 furlongs.
There's College Chapel, developing along the championship line, so established by other star horses trained by Vincent O'Brien and ridden. It's good to say those two words together, isn't it? Ridden by Lester Piggott. His last outing was at Deauville on the 1st of the month. He had the soft ground he likes. This was another big one that certainly wasn't going to get away.
Wolfhound with on the outside Zayton, Matelot in behind horses just being pushed along. College Chapel starts to eat ground wide of the pack, and they come down towards the final furlong, and Pat Edery on Wolfhound goes for everything. Zayton, Matelot not that far away, but here comes College Chapel under Lester Piggott on the wide outside inside the final furlong now, and it's College Chapel that comes into the lead from Matelot, Wolfhound and Zayton. Darakal in green starts to pick up and really motor, but as they race up toward the line, College Chapel's going to win it. College Chapel the winner.
Well, this is one of the big rivals. This is Keen Hunter. This horse hasn't won since beating Sheikh Albadou in the Prix de l'Abbé at Longchamp nearly 2 years ago. But he's run some good races since then. And in the July Cup at Newmarket last month, he was less than a length behind College Chapel. And at today's weight, he could well get his revenge. And don't forget, in the July Cup, he had LBO and Freddie Lloyd both behind him.
Keen Hunter with a run. Zayton starts to close, but they've got it to go to catch Hamas, the leader from College Chapel, Marina Park. Zayton and Keen Hunter, these clear of Fileflower Artistic Reef, and Hamas is really going through the barriers here, and the leader clear inside the final furlong, and it's Hamas, College Chapel, Marina Park, Zayton and Keen Hunter, but they're all playing for places because this goes to Hamas, clear by 3 at the line. Hamas lifts it. Hamas from College Chapel, Zayton third.
The grey Paris House, who's truly earned his title as being one of the most popular horses even trainer Jack Berry has ever handled. 9 wins so far from 20 races, including the last 2 on Channel 4. Remember the Temple Stakes at Sandown at the end of May.
Paris House has come to share it with Lochsong, and these two true speedsters have a link to the good over Wolfhound and Garra the Rail. Then Hamas pushed along, Artistic Reef in green, Gone Savage, Million behind these, then comes Medaille d'Or. The one that's really struggling to go the pace is Gone Savage, but it's Lochsong that leads Paris House, the little grey, going on by length now, but they've still got a furlong to go, and the pressure's going to come from Wolfhound on the outside of the pack, but Paris House has it. Here goes Wolfhound, the white sleeve jacket on the outside of Garra, who's coming with a run. It's going to be close at the line, but Paris House just last there.
And here she is. This is the Pocket Rocket, Lyric Fantasy, the brilliant winner of this race last year, the first win by a 2-year-old in the Nunthorpe for over 30 years. And she was then sold at Tattersall Sales for 340,000 guineas. And she showed she was no back number by comfortably winning a listed race at Newmarket back in May.
And Lyric Fantasy in the lead, but put out to try to get it closer. So too on the outside is Mithil Al-Hawa in the red and white colours. More red and white colours for Star Family Friend. But as they come down into the dip, it's Lyric Fantasy and Patinary going on. Mithil Al-Hawa was on the outside and getting closer as they come inside the final furlong. Lyric Fantasy being given as easy a time as possible. Patinary looks round. Lyric Fantasy exploding from the stalls wins it. Mithil Al-Hawa second.
Lochsong now a really smashing filly and back to her very best form. She may have been favoured by the weights when she beat Paris House, Keen Hunter and Blighton Lad at Goodwood last time, but this is a filly which, pardon the pun, who's really smashing when on song. Remember Sandown 6 weeks ago.
They've passed the halfway stage and Lochsong blazing the trail is really skipping on too clear of Lucky Park's Medaille d'Or's in charge. Deciding a charge, so too is Bunty Boo trying to use a pace at this stage of the race. Branson Abbey is last, but Lochsong is clear by 3 coming inside the final furlong. Lochsong back to her best, no doubt about that whatsoever. Lochsong takes it from Bunty Boo, Lucky Parks and Medaille d'Or up towards the line. Lochsong from pillar to post, Lochsong, Bunty Boo.
And this is the Canadian Challenger, bold and flashy. Flew over on Monday from Toronto, and you know when the British first went to Canada, apparently Toronto was called York in the old days, so if that's something of a coincidence, you never know. This horse has a career total of 6 successes from 21 starts, so that is not too impressive, but obviously they haven't come over here for a holiday. And this horse is trained by Deborah England, a Canadian girl, and she's married to an Englishman who also trains in Canada. It'll be very interesting to see how bold and flashy gets on. I wonder how this one figures in the market. JT, let's have a show on the Nunthorpe.
Thank you, Derek. And bold and flashy is a 50-to-1 chance. College Chapel the favourite on 5-2 from 9-4. Keen Hunter is 4-1 from 3s, and Paris House 9-2 from 5-1. LBO is 6-1, also from 5s, and Lyric Fantasy 7-1 from 6s. Lochsong is 9-1 from 10-1. Blighton Lad steady at 33s. Bold and Flashy on 50s, along with Sea Gazer. Freddie Lloyd 100-1, as is Million, and they're all quoted for the Nunthorpe.
So the preliminaries beginning to complete with the canter down. This is Lyric Fantasy, the Pocket Rocket. She looks tiny against these now, it has to be said. Lochsong has already gone early. And I think what's going to happen here is more or less what happened with the July Cup at Goodwood. Well, they will let them go down at spaces. And the idea behind that is that they don't set each other off, so to speak. So the Maestro, Lester Piggott on College Chapel.
College Chapel,
a son of Sharpo, who won this race 3 times, John.
Yeah, I used to have Sharpo at home for a time. Very smart horse indeed, and did particularly well first time that he ever ran because he had a cracked hip.
Blighton
Lad just gone out. Well, we're having a double act here. It was Little and Large as well today. Blighton Lad, one of the biggest horses in training, and the other filly, Lyric Fantasy. Freddie Lloyd just going out there, looked particularly well, of course, as does the filly Milliant, although neither of them actually showed any form so far this year. Paris House and John Carroll, they'll be happier this year on ground that I think will suit them better this afternoon, and did well to finish 6th in this race last year when the stable probably just weren't firing. That's Albio. Walter Swinburne put the mount back on him again this afternoon, gets on really well with him, bidding for his 3rd Group 1 victory in 7 days. Keen Hunter and Michael Roberts just got a little bit warm beforehand, and finally, actually a couple more to come out. That was Sea Gazer and Kevin Darley. And College Chapel. For many people, this will be the banker of the 3 days, running for the first time today, over 5 furlongs. Started the season off running over 7, has taken in plenty of victories over 6. And if I say it once more, I'll probably get it right. The last one down, the American horse, bold and flashy, and I think you could probably do a lot worse than have a pound each way on this at 33 to 1. American horse that ran in this race last year finished 3rd. Not actually all that big, bold and flashy. I'm not totally convinced that the ground's going to be quite fast enough for him in the couple of races I've seen him running. He struck me as a horse who wants the ground to be rattling. Well, College Chapel, will he be fast enough? Not the best of movers in his slower paces, but he's certainly got bags of his speed. And although he's been running over 6 on softish ground, Jimmy always travels well in his races.
Yes, with the exception of Hamas in the July Cup at Newmarket, where he was beaten, and some people are firmly of the opinion that that was a fluke result. We've yet to see that that's the case. College Chapel certainly went as well as anything else in the race, bar the winner. It's said that this easier ground will suit him better, and he did win in style at Deauville. I just feel there's so many front runners that something from behind, i.e. College Chapel, possibly Keen Hunter, will come and cut them down.
Well, I'll let you tell Pete Warwin that you thought the July Cup was a fluke. The director's pulling his hair out. He's got a shot of Paris House from one grey to another. There he is. And he's been a smashing servant to Jack Berry. And actually ran well last year, considering Jack Berry never thought that he was right.
Yeah, he's made up into a physically very imposing colt and looks really well once again. But he is one of that group of front runners I was talking about earlier. There's 4 or 5 of them that really want to trailblaze. Anyway, whatever happens today, he's been a great servant. He's sure to give a good showing. And Derek caught up with John Carroll before racing and asked him, was he going to go out in style?
Well, I hope he does finish in style. I think he's got every chance today. He's £8 better off with Lochsong for the Goodwood race. And the ground's a little bit more in our favour today than it is Lochsong's. I think today they've put the stalls on the stand side, so hopefully we've got a good draw now. We're coming straight up the middle, and I think that's where the best ground is.
And will you just jump out and go for it, or will you try and ride a tactical race?
I mean, this horse, he runs his own sort of race. If he hits the boxes and goes, he goes. I mean, if you take back on him, you end up in a battle with him, and we nearly got him beat as a 2-year-old trying to drop him in. So we've never tried it since.
So you're going to try and make all?
If he jumps out and goes, yes. So.
Spot on, just right. Thank you very much.
Paris House to stand in Ireland at the end of the season, but remains in Mr. Chandler's colours, for whom he's raced so successfully, named after Peter Chandler's Paris House restaurant near Woburn. And we're now looking at number 5, Keen Hunter, 6-year-old full horse by Diocese. Basically lightly raced, but no doubt a good sprinter, run well in all 3 of his races this season, and with conditions near perfect, John should do so again here this afternoon.
He's one of the few horses to have won a Group 1 race over this distance. Lyric Fantasy, of course, did it in this race last year. Looks absolutely magnificent, Keen Hunter. Really come to himself. I think it's the best I've seen him look all season. It's actually, he's a horse, he always looks as though he's just wants a little bit further, whether he runs over 5 or 6, and I'll be interested to see how they ride him this afternoon. Right, let's have a look at Albio. And He never really got into the race in the July Cup. Walter Swinburne absolutely rides this horse to perfection. He was on board when he won the King's Stand Stakes at Royal Ascot. And Peter Macon, I thought that was a tremendous training effort to get this horse ready to win a race like that first time up.
Well, John told you the smallest member of the field was Lyric Fantasy, and she is by some way pony size now, but won this race last year when she received all the allowances. Hasn't been in the same form this year, although has had only 3 runs. Not disgraced in the Guineas first time over a mile, but patently failed to stay. One conditions event over 6 furlongs next time, the form of which really doesn't read very well, and excuses were made for her next time at Royal Ascot, where Connections felt the ground was too soft for her. She looks wonderfully well, although she is small now, but apart from the fact she's a front runner as well and is going to get caught up in that dogfight in the early stages, I just don't think she's good enough.
Update us now on the eye catchers, what our team have been impressed by just by their eyes and ears today. Jim McGrath in the paddock.
All of these look well, but none look better than LBO, the Jekyll and Hyde character. However he runs, he looks marvellous. Graham?
Well, sprinters very rarely use themselves going down to the start, but I did like the way that Lochsong moved. She's my selection, number 8, Lochsong on movement. And down in the ring, Big Mac, what's the news?
They've come late for College Chapel, so now that's 9-4. College Chapel's the one over Paris House.
Well, here's a filly in at the peak of her form at the minute, Lochsong, 5-year-old mare by Song, improved out of all recognition last season, and after what was by no means a bad start, but a start that nonetheless disappointed her Connections this season, she's bounced back to form after a mid-season break, winning at Sandown and at Goodwood. The weights favoured her on both occasions. This particular race here at York means that she meets the Colts on strict weight for sex instead of receiving allowances because of the fact that prior to today she hadn't won significant pattern races.
I always think she's quite unusual for a front runner, Jim, in as much as I never feel that she's perturbed by other horses racing around her.
Well, it's a fascinating event. Here's the full show betting.
Chapel, the 9-4 favourite, back from 5-2. Keen Hunter 9-2, and Paris House 4-1 from 9-2. LVO 6-1, Lyric Fantasy 15-2. Lochsong is a 10-1 chance, back from 9s, and Blighton Lad steady at 33s. Bold and Flashy, another 33-1 chance. Sea Gazer on 50s, and the 2 outsiders are Freddie Lloyd and Milliant, both 100-1, all quoted.
Paris House so popular with the public. The public get onto these kind of horses, and Paris House in from 5-1 into 4-1. Solid support for College Chapel, the 9-4 favourite. Weak now, Keen Hunter, out from 3-1 to 9-2. 6 LBO, weak 2 Lyric Fantasy at 15-2. 10 Lochsong, and Blighton Lad running in the race for the 4th time now. Fairly quiet each way at 33, but money for Bold and Flashy from 50 into double carpet, 33-1. The Canadian horse.
Well, they'll run well under a minute here. They won't probably get to the record this afternoon because conditions aren't blazingly fast. That have been the case over any number of Ebor meetings at York. But with so many front runners, I should be surprised if it wasn't a really quick time. Those that want to lead have got one to take them as long as they like. Those who want a front run have faced by plenty of others who want to do the same. Well, Graham, what do you think you'll be calling home first?
Difficult to see Paris House or Bold and Flashy being headed in the first furlong and a half, Jim, although Brighton Lad can show plenty of pace. I don't know, perhaps College Chapel, but it's not a race in which I particularly like to play. Keen Hunter drifted badly in the market. He was steady at a post. Michael Roberts rides this one, of course, in the Sheikh Mohammed jacket. One of the last to go in. Milliant will be last of all. 8-1 Lyric Fantasy from 15-2. Lyric Fantasy from stall 11. She'll be the rail runner. They'll be on the left. Plenty of pace, of course, from the grey on the extreme right. Paris has. And the start's so absolutely vital. And this is the last one to go in. They're lined up then for the Keeneland Nunthorpe, the trip, the Flying 5. Under orders a breakout, and Sea Gazer very smartly away. So too Bob and Flashy, Paris House and Lochsong. They're the first 4 to show. Length back to Blighton Lad, Keen Hunter, Milliant, and they've taken Freddie Lloyd. College Chapel is just simply outpaced. Lyric Fantasy is on the extreme left. LBO's tucked in behind horses. And They've gone through the first furlong and a half, and it's the red cap of Bold and Flashy leading, striding on by neck to Sea Gazer, the horse with the big white face. Noseband on the right is Lochsong. Behind these Million, Freddie Lloyd. Paris House, the grey, is there. College Chapel is just taken off his legs. They've only got 2 to go, and it's Lochsong in the lead from Paris House on the right. Bold and Flashy has done his running. Keen Hunter behind these, and Leicester on College Chapel on the extreme left is out of shot as they come inside the final furlong. And Lochsong and Paris House in between these two. College Chapel's coming late and fast, but it's Lochsong who's going to hold on. Lochsong makes all. Paris House, College Chapel. That's the 1, 2, 3 LBO 4, Brighton Lad 5, Keen Hunter 6, and then behind these came Freddie Lloyd and Bold and Flashy and Sea Gazer and Milliant, and in the end Lyric Fantasy finished last of all. And so the outcome then of this Group 1 Keeneland Nunthorpe, the 10-to-1 winner, is number 8 on your card, the much improved mare Lochsong, in the colours of Mr. Jeff Smith. This one trained by Ian Balding and ridden by Frankie Dettori, his 96th winner of the season, and against the top pace in the world, has probably led them all. Second horse home, well, from halfway. Second horse home is number 6, Paris House, ridden by John Carroll. These two horses have had the most tremendous tussles throughout their long and busy careers, and it's Lochsong who's proved the better yet again. On this occasion, just beating the grey Paris House, who has run his remarkably game and consistent race as ever, and just being deprived of the Group 1 prize that really he so richly deserves. But had he won, he would have had to have deprived Lochsong of her glory as well. Third horse home was number 7, College Chapel, who was just simply outpaced, couldn't go with it, and yes, I told you so.
Well, in a sprint, the start is all important, and as they came out here, College Chapel lost his chance. Stall 10 as Bold and Flashy pinged out just that little bit smartly, caused Leicester Piggott just to check slightly, and that check saw him immediately at a disadvantage. Just there, they just bumped slightly. Instead of getting a clean break and racing alongside them, checked in his stride and immediately at a disadvantage. From the outset, John, a tremendous gallop.
Yeah, if anything, I thought that College Chapel just came across Bold and Flashy. Whatever, they were 2 lengths smarter than him as they left the stalls, and from then on, Leicester was always just taking hold of the bridle, just trying to get him in contention, doing all of his best work in the end. But let's not take anything away from Lochsong and Paris House. They made all the donkey work between them, and certainly both of them kept to their guns in the closing stages. We always thought that maybe something would come from off the pace and be there ready to collar them. That wasn't the case. They both stuck to their guns really well. And she's certainly a filly who's improving. She was meeting quite a few of these a lot worse at the weights than before, but she's won with a little bit in hand. There's no doubt about that. And although College Chapel ran on well, he could only get 3rd spot in the end.
And Lochsong is returned the 10-to-1 6th favourite. It did touch 12-to-1 on the course. It was a 10-to-1 chance in the offices this morning, and beats the hugely popular Paris House, returned at 4-to-1, and second in the race for the second time, that Paris House. It was second 2 years ago behind Sheikh Albadou. The third, College Chapel, sent off the 9-to-4 favourite. But that Lochsong getting revenge for the Sire Song, who was odds on when beaten 4th behind Tower Walk in 1969. The hugely popular Song, a great sprinter he was, great sire he turned out to be, only 4th in the 69 Nunthorpe. His daughter Lochsong comes and gets the family revenge at 10-to-1, and the bookmakers, they're cheering yet again.
Bubbling Frankie Dettori, you saw the little clenched fist and well, you can almost, I'm sure, imagine the whoop of delight as he slapped the filly down the neck as well as she passed the post. Frankie, a very animated character, loves to win, and his pleasure is obvious. Yes, I done it. And he probably told everyone so too.
Yeah, almost ridden his 100th winner, and Jeff Smith's had an amazing campaign with his horses. He's the gentleman just standing to Ian Balding's left. There's Ian, the trainer, next to John Smith with the Panama hat. And only Richard Quinn had more rides than Frankie Dettori this year. That was his 562nd ride this year.
She really is a grand mare, and she looked well, and as you said, you're describing the unusual way of going she had, John, before racing. There's a pedigree. Anyway, look, this will be of some interest to northern racing fans as well, because Peckett's Well was quite a popular sprint handicapper that Mick Easterby had a touch or two when training that on up here in the north. The Song, as Mac told you, got beaten in this race, but was a very, very good sprinter, owned originally by Mr. Jim Joel and then sold subsequently to Mr. Brian Jenks. It's a very fast pedigree, and she looks the sort to make a lovely mum when her time to do that comes. Frankie's Cup runneth over.
And here's the full SP. First, number 8, Lochsong at 10 to 1. Second, number 6, Paris House, 4 to 1. And third, number 7, College Chapel, the 9 to 4 favourite. They paid £9.90 for the win. The place is £2 exactly, £1.50 and £1.60. And the dual forecast came to £13.80.